Hello everyone, as you know, my name is Rex and today's topic name is Java keywords. Let's first understand what are Java keywords. After that, I will explain these 50 important keywords. Okay, let's start. So guys, Java keywords are the reserved words that have a predefined meaning in a Java programming language, and these words are specifically recognized by the Java compiler and they are used to perform specific tasks while writing Java programs. And since every keyword has a fixed purpose, programmers cannot change its meaning or use it as the name of a variable, method class, interface, package, or object. Also, these keywords forms the basic syntax of Java language and helps the compiler to understand the structure and the functionality of a program. And they are essential for creating classes, declaring variables, controlling the flow of execution, handling exceptions, or many other works. So now let's discuss about these 50 important keywords. So let's start with class. So guys, class keyword is used to declare a class in Java, and a class is a blueprint or template from which objects are created, and it defines the data and behavior that objects of the class will have. And since Java is a class based and object oriented programming language, every Java program contains at least one class, and this class keyword informs the Java compiler that a new class definition is beginning, and these classes helps in organizing code, also promotes code reusability, and makes the program easier to understand and maintain. Also, without class keyword, it is impossible to define user created classes in Java, which makes it one of the most important keyword in the language. So, next keyword is public. This public keyword is an access modifier that makes a class, method, constructor, or variable accessible from anywhere in the program, and members declared as public can be accessed by any other class regardless of whether it belongs to the same package or a different package. Remember that. And it provides the highest level of accessibility among all the access modifiers. And the public keyword is commonly used for classes and the main method because the Java virtual machine must be able to access them to execute the program, and using public allows different parts of an application to communicate and interact with one another easily. So next is private, and this keyword is also an access modifier that restrict the accessibility of variables, methods, and constructor to the class in which they are declared. And members declared as private cannot be accessed directly from the outside class, which helps in ensuring that the internal data of an object remains protected. And this is very important thing about this modifier. Which modifier? Private. Also, this keyword is widely used to implement data heading and encapsulation. And in this, instead of allowing the direct access, private data is usually accessed through the public getter and setter methods. And using private modifier, we can improve the security, can prevent accidental modification of data and can make the program more reliable and easier to maintain. So remember that is. Next is static keyword. Sorry, protected. So guys, this keyword is also an access modifier that allows the members to be accessed within the same package and also by subclass located in the different packages through inheritance, and it also provides more accessibility than private but less than the public modifier. And this protected keyword, this keyword is useful when certain variables or methods should be available to the child class while remaining inaccessible to the unrelated classes outside the package. And it also play an important role in inheritance by enabling the subclasses to reuse and extend the functionality of their parent classes. So this is about protected keyword. Next is static. This keyword indicates that a variable, method block, or nested class belongs to the class rather than to individual objects. Also, you should know that a static member is created only once when the class is loaded into the memory, and all the objects of the class share the same copy. Also, static methods can be called directly using the class name without creating an object, and this keyword, static keyword, is commonly used for utility methods, constants, count, counters, and the main method. Using also this using this method helps in reducing the memory usage because the shared members do not need to be duplic- duplicated for every object created from the class. So this is one of the advantage of this keyword and one of the important one. So next is final keyword, guys. Final keyword is used to restrict the modifications in Java, and when applied when it is applied to a variable, it makes the variable constant, which means its value cannot be changed after initialization. And when it applied to a method, it prevents the method from being overridden by subclasses. And when it is applied to a class, it prevents inheritance, meaning no other class can extend it. This final keyword is commonly used to improve the security, it also maintain consistency and protect the important classes or methods from unintended modifications. Next keyword is abstract. So guys, abstract keyword is used to declare abstract classes and abstract methods, and an abstract class cannot be initialized directly because it is assigned to serve as a base class for other classes. Similarly, an abstract method does not contain an implementation, and it must be overridden by the subclasses. Remember that. And the primary, guys, the primary purpose of the abstract keyword, this keyword, is to achieve abstraction, which helps in hiding the implementation details and exposes only the essential information in front of user. Just take an example like and there is an application you are using, so you can just complete your all the works like just take an example of calculator. Once you come performing your calculation on that calculator, you just close that app, and after that you don't think about its coding and other works. So same happen in this case. Just take it as an example. Apart from that, remember, abstract classes allows the programmers to define common features while leaving specific implementation to derived class, which makes the code more flexible, organized, and reusable. Just remember some of those points so you can, if you want to write in exam, means some points repeat many times. So just remember that. Okay. So next is new keyword, guys, and this keyword is used to create objects dynamically during program execution. And when the new keyword is used, memory is allocated for the object in a heap memory, and the class constructor is automatically called to initialize objects. And without using the new keyword, objects of a class cannot be created. Apart from that, every time a new object is needed, the new keyword allocates the required memory and returns a reference to the newly created object. Okay. Next is this keyword. Guys, this keyword refers to the current object of the class, and it is mainly used to distinguish between instance variable from local variables when both have the same name. And in addition, this keyword, I mean this, can be used to call another constructor of the same class, and it can invoke the current class method or pass the current object as an argument to another method. And using this keyword improves the code readability and improves the sorry removes the ambiguity when accessing class members. Also, it is specifically useful in constructors and setter methods where parameter names are often written as same. So next is extend keyword. Sorry, super keyword, guys. So this super keyword refers to the immediate parent class in Java, and it is primarily used to access the parent class variable, and it invokes the parent class method and then call the parent class constructor from a child class. And this super keyword is essential in inheritance because it enables a subclass to reuse and extend the functionality of its superclass without duplicating code. It's particularly useful when the child class overrides a method or declare variables with same names as those in the parent class. So, by using the super keyword, programmers can explicitly can access the parent class implementations whenever needed. Next keyword is extend keyword. So guys, so I was talking about extend keyword. Guys, extend keyword is used to establish inheritance between two classes or between two interfaces in Java. And in inheritance, one class acquires the properties and methods of another class. I think you know that because the child class can use the existing features of the parent class without rewriting them, and in this child class can also add new features or can modify inherited methods by overriding them. And since Java supports single inheritance for classes, a class can extend only one parent class. And in this This extend keywords is one of the important features of object-oriented programming because it helps in creating a hierarchical relationship between classes, which makes the program more organized and maintainable and scalable. Next is implements. This implement keyword is used when a class provides the implementation of one or more interfaces, and an interface, you should know, that defines a set of methods that a class must implement, which helps in ensuring that the all implementing classes follow the same contract. And unlike class inheritance, Java allows a class to implement multiple interfaces, which provides a way to achieve multiple inheritance. Also, this implement keywords encourages loose coupling, also improves code flexibility, and allows different classes to provide their own implementation of the same interface according to the specific requirements. So, next is interface. This interface keyword, guys, is used to declare an interface in Java. So, an interface is a reference type that act as a blueprint or for classes by specifying what methods they must provide without defining how those methods should work. And this allows different classes to implement the same interface in their own ways while maintaining a common structure. Also, these interfaces are widely used to achieve abstraction, remember that, and they support multiple inheritance, and they also reduces the dependency between different parts of a program. So next is package keyword. This package keyword is used to organize related classes, interfaces, enumeration, and other Java components into a logical group. And guys, remember that a package helps in avoiding naming conflicts by allowing the classes with same name to exist in different packages. And it also improves the code organization, which helps in making larger application easier to develop, understand, and maintain. Also, packages provides access control and make it convenient to share related classes among different projects. Okay, so next is import keyword. So guys, import keyword is used to access classes and interface that belongs to another package, and instead of writing the complete package name every time a class is used, the import statement allows the programmer to use the class directly by its simple name, and this improves the code readability and also reduces the unnecessary repetitions. Apart from that, Java provides many predefined packages such as java.util, java.io, and java.time, etc., which contains useful classes for collections, file handling, date time operations, etc. And without import keyword, programmers would have to write the fully qualified class name whenever they use a class from another package. So consider it consider it as an advantage. And if you want to write it, you can write. So next is if keyword. This if keyword, guys, is used to make decisions in a Java program based on a specified conditions, and before executing a block of code, Java evaluates these conditions inside this if statement, and if the condition is true, the statement inside the block are executed, and if it falls, then they are skipped. The if statement allows the program to respond differently in different situations, which makes them dynamic and intelligent. You can say that. And it is commonly used for checking user input, validating data, comparing values, and controlling the flow of execution. Next is else keyword. This. So, guys, else keyword is used together with the if statement. This to specify an alternating block of code that should be executed when the if condition evaluates or equal to the false, and it ensures that the program can choose between two different executions paths depending on the result of depending on the result. And this else keyword helps in improving the decision making by allowing the programmers to handle both possible outcomes of a condition in a clear and organized manner. And it also widely used in application that requires validation, user authentication, grading system also, and in many other real world scenarios where multiple outcomes are possible. Next is switch. This switch keyword is a multi-way statement, guys, which is used to execute one block of code from several available options. And instead of writing multiple if-else statement, a switch statement allows the value of an expression to be compared against different case labels. And when a matching case is found, the corresponding block of code is executed, and this makes the program easier to maintain, especially when many conditions depends on the same variable. Also, this keyword this switch keyword is commonly used for menu driven programs, command processing, and applications where one value determines multiple possible actions. Okay, so next is case. This case keyword is used inside a switch statement to define a specific value that switch expression should be compared against. And in this we can say that each case represent one possible outcome, and when the expression matches a case value, the statement associated with that case are executed. And multiple case labels can be included within a single switch statement to handle different situations. And in most cases, the break statement is used after each case to prevent the execution of subsequent cases. Okay, remember that. And next is default keyword. This default keyword, guys, is used sorry this default keyword is used inside a switch keyword, or you can say that switch statement, to define the block of code that should execute when none of the specified case values match with the switch expression, and it serves as the final alternative, similar, and this is similar to the else block in an if else statement. Also, this keyword ensures that the program can handle unexpected or invalid input easily instead of doing nothing. So, guys, now let's talk about this for keyword. Guys, this for keyword is used to create a loop that repeatedly execute a block of code for a specified number of times. And a for loop, this consists of three parts: initialization, condition, and update expression. Okay, and in this we can say that this initialization is executed only once at the beginning The condition is checked before each iteration, and the update expression modifies the loop variable after every iteration. Apart from that, I am talking about its working, so understand that and also remember that. And so I was saying this loop continues as long as the condition remains true and stops automatically when it becomes false. So we can say that this for loop is most suitable when the number of iteration is known in advance, such as printing numbers, traversing arrays, or processing collections. And it also makes the repetitive task easier to write, which reduces the code duplication and improves the readability of the Java program. Next is while keyword. So guys, this keyword is used to create a loop that executes a block of code repeatedly as long as specified condition remains true. And unlike the for loop, a while loop is generally used when the number of iteration is not known in advance. You can consider it as a difference between for and while loop. Also, remember that before in while loop, before every iteration, Java evaluates the condition, and if it is true, the statement inside the loop are executed, and if the condition becomes false, the loop terminates immediately. And since the condition is checked before execution, a while loop may execute zero or more times. Also, if we talk about its use, it is commonly used for reading user input, processing the data until a retained condition is met. Next is do while loop. Sorry, do. I'm talking about do keyword. So guys, this do keyword is used with the while statement to create a do while loop. Okay, that I want to say. So in this loop, the block of code is executed before the condition is evaluated. As a result, the loop body is guaranteed to execute at least once, even if the condition is initially false. And after the execution, the condition is checked and the loop continues only if the condition remains true. And we can say that this do while loop is useful when the program must perform an action before checking whether it should repeat, such as displaying a menu, accepting user input, or prompting a user until the valid data is entered. So it provides a simple way to ensure that the essential code execute at least once. So next is break keyword. Guys, this break keyword is used to immediately terminate a loop or a switch statement. And when Java encounters a break statement, it stops the execution of the current loop or switch block and then transfers the control to the first statement that follows it. And this keyword is especially useful when the required result has already been found and there is no need to continue executing the remaining iteration. So, for example, in switch statements, break prevents the execution from continuing into the next case. I already told you that. And now let's talk about continue statement. Guys, this continue statement is used to skip the remaining statement of the current iteration, and it immediately moves to the next iteration, unlike the break statement, which completely terminates the loop. This continue keyword allows the loop to keep remaining, or you can say running, while ignoring only the current iteration. And this keyword is useful when certain values or conditions should be excluded while stopping the entire loop. It helps in simplifying loop logic by eliminating unnecessary nested conditions, and this helps in keeping the code more readable. And we can say that this continuous statement can be used with for loop, while loop, and do while loops. Next is return statement. Sorry, return keyword. So guys, this keyword is I think yes, this keyword is used to terminate the execution of a method, and it optionally send a value back to the calling method. And when a method has a return type such as int, double, or string, this return statement must provide a value of the appropriate type. And in method declared with the void return type, the return statement can be used without a value that time to exist the method early. And once a return statement is executed, no further statement inside the method are executed. And this keyword, we can say, play a vital role in method communication because it allows the methods to produce result that can be used elsewhere in the program. So next is try keyword. This try keyword, guys, is used to define a block of code that may generate an exception during program execution. And this statement that have the potential cause to create a runtime error such as file operation, error access, array access, or division by zero are placed inside the try block. And if an exception occurs, Java immediately stop executing, and the remaining statement in the try block. So in simple words, we can say that if an exception occur, then that time any code inside the try block will stop executing. Apart from that, try block transfers the control to the appropriate catch block if an exception is occur. And using the try keyword, we, we can prevent the abnormal program terminations, and it also enables the developers to write programs that can handle unexpected situations gracefully. And now we will learn about catch keyword. So guys, this keyword is used immediately after a try block, as I said, to handle exceptions that occurs during program execution. Also, when an expression is thrown inside the try block, Java searches for a matching catch block that is capable of handling that exception. And inside the catch block, programmers can display meaningful error message, which helps in performing corrective actions. And also, multiple catch blocks can be used with a single try block to handle different types of exceptions separately. And this catch keyword plays an important role in building robust, reliable, and user-friendly Java application. Okay. Next is finally keyword. Guys, this finally keyword is used to define the block of code that executes regardless of whether an exception occurs or not. And after the try and catch block finishes their execution. This finally block is always executed, except in very rare situations, such as when the JVM terminates unexpectedly. And it is we can say that it is commonly used to release system resources such as closing files, database connection, network sockets, or input streams. So next is throw keyword. Let's wrap this soon. Okay. So guys, this throw keyword is used to explicitly create and throw an exception from a method or a block of code, while Java automatically throws many exceptions that programmer can use, so that the programmer can use the throw keyword to generate custom exceptions whenever an abnormal condition is detected. And once an exception is thrown, the normal flow of program stops and Java searches for an appropriate catch block to handle it. And also guys, this throw keyword is useful for validating input, enforcing business rules, and reporting errors with meaningful exception messages. Next is throws keyword. This throws keyword guys is used in the method declaration to specify the exceptions that a method may generate during its execution. And instead of handling an exception within the method, this method keyword passes the responsibility of handling that exception to the calling method. And this allows the programmers to separate the normal program logic from exception handling logic, which makes the code cleaner and easier to maintain. And we can say a method can declare one or more exception using the throws keyword. Remember that throws keyword, this keyword. And especially checked exceptions such as IO exception and SQL exception. So I think these keywords you already know that, and I already explained that in previous video. Let's not our let's not waste our time on those on these keywords. Now I will explain the also guys, remember that one thing, I am not explaining these keywords from here to there because I already explained them in my previous video. So you can learn from those videos also. Okay. So next is long keyword guys, that I will explain because I didn't explain in my previous video that one. So guys, this long keyword is used to declare variables that store very large integer values, and it occupies 8 bytes of memory and can represent the number far beyond the range of the int data type. And when we assign a numeric literal to a long variable, the value is often followed by the suffix L, capital L, or maybe small n, to indicate that it is a long integer. And this long data type is commonly used for storing large IDs, time stamps, population counts, financial reports, and scientific calculation, etc. Next is void. As you know, this keyword is used as the return type of a method to indicate that the method does not return any value. And when a method performs a task such as displaying information, updating data, or printing output without producing a result, it is declared with the void return type. Although a void method does not return a value, it can still accept parameters and can execute the complex operations. Okay. So next is instance of. This instance of keyword is an operator which is used to determine whether an object belongs to a particular class, subclass, or implements a specific interface, and it returns a boolean value true if the object is an instance of the specific type, and otherwise otherwise it will return false. And this keyword is specifically useful when we work with inheritance and polymorphism, where a reference variable, remember that, may point to objects of different classes. Okay, and by using the instance of, programmers can safely check an object's type. So next is enum. This keyword is used to declare an enumeration, which is a special data type that represents a fixed set of constant values. And instead of using multiple integers or string constant constants, an enum groups related constants under a single type, which helps in making the code more readable and type safe. And we can say that enums are commonly used to represent values that do not change, such as days of the week, month, traffic signals, directions, or user roles. So, guys, that's it for today. These are some remaining keywords that you will learn from by yourself. Just to use the internet and write at least one definition in comment if you can. You can help others. And if you are watching this video on shorts, so read this. Well, you can't hear my video on shorts. Okay, thank you for listening to me, guys. Bye.